We are going to do today pretty much a virgin head of hair. There's some previous color that's on the ends, but other than that, and we got to trim it. She's trying to keep it long. Super virgin hair, and we are going to do full on single process, and then we're going to paint in some more lighter pieces inside, keeping the root a little shadow or a little dark. So this is a big deal, big change, a lot of hair color elements, and we're going to use lightener and permanent color, and we may use toner. So we may use 3 of the hair color elements on one model. Big deal.
All right, guys, let's get started. Now, if you're looking at those eyes, I know the mask is covering her face, but this is our model from about 2 years back, guys, with the pink bubblegum pixie. This is one of the most popular tribe tutorials that we've had. So many different elements that we had in that one tutorial, right? It was cut, it was color, but it was short hair, right? This is going to be the look that we create today on the exact model that we cut all of her hair off about 2 years ago. Yes, she's grown that amount of hair in that amount of time. It was actually, I was actually blown away when she walked into the studio. So, but virgin hair, all her natural color, a little previous color on the ends. So she was ready for a change. Guys, we're going in with level 8 ash. All right, so that is the actual tonal value. So yeah, we're going to go in with level 8 and we're going in with ash. I would encourage you to also consider doing maybe double ash. We're using permanent color for her single process base. But it's important when we're using permanent color, unlike when we're using lightener, lightener is an eraser, right? It's designed just to take the pigment out of the hair. If she's at level 3, if she's at level 4, if the client is at a natural level 2, it's just designed to just lift wherever the a natural pigment is or the existing pigment is and to lift out. Permanent color is a different beast. It actually lifts the hair up to a level on the level chart, and it drops the tonal value inside of the hair. This is why I enjoy permanent color so much more for single process on straight hair, single process on curls, just single process all over for your naturals, for your coppers, for your golden shades, for your cool shades, any of your warms, your reds, your browns. In this instance, I want more of like a graham cracker kind of ash brown color or like ash blonde color. So we're going in with level 8. I'm choosing to use 40 volume. This particular line, the ion line, is 1:1. So I went in with 6 ounces, I think 5 or 6 ounces of color just to make sure that I had enough, wanting to be sure that I saturate the entire head. From the video, it's a little deceiving, but Leah has very, very thick hair, and I want to make sure that I get full saturation. Now, you could choose to go in with a 10 ash. You could have went in with a warm shade if you wanted that, a copper. I'm choosing this, and I'm choosing ash for a couple reasons. I want more of a ashy or cooler base because we are going into the fall, but she wanted kind of a summer effect. So sometimes you can give blondes or coppers or reds and still have more of something that's light and fresh on the model, but it can have cooler backgrounds because we're choosing maybe a violet base or an ash base or some type of cooler base in our reds, our coppers, or our brown. So we're going in with level 8, guys. We're going in with 40 volume, no heat. The hair is lifting right in front of us. Time has passed. You're going to go about 35 to 40 minutes, making sure. Now, what I'm doing is I'm not going all the way to the root for more than one reason. Number one, I want this shadow effect at the root, right? I want to be able to have this shadow. I'm going to talk about what I'm using right there in just a second, but I'm going to continue to talk about the shade that I have here. Now, this lighting, I'll be honest, guys, it's not the best. You'll see when we take her outside in final look to let you know that that wasn't as warm as it actually looks right there. It's actually a little ashier, more like the tonal value of that wall that's in the background. Not as light as that wall, but it's flatter than that. But you can see her skin tone has clear yellow, maybe even soft copper undertone. So we knew that her hair was going to pull warm. I've worked with Leah in the past, if you remember back, with the Pixie haircut, that when we pre-lightened her with lightener, she pulled very, very warm, and we had to go in with a violet base to ash or to cool her down. So to be mindful of that, guys, we're going to actually go in even further, even though it was a lot flatter. In my mind, when you looked at it in person, we're still going to go in with a tonal value or a toner a transparent toner even after we put in these highlights. So think about that, guys. Go and use your ash. Ash just means that you are trying to remove red, right? Violet just means that you're trying to remove yellow. So you know if she pulls yellow, use a violet-based blonde. It's going to lift to level 9, lift to level 8, lift to 7, lift to 10, and then it's going to drop off that tonal value of whatever the base is. I hope that really helps us to better understand how to use permanent color and not to run away from using it instead of just going right to bleach. Bleach certainly has its place, like we're using right now, but I think for base color, we want to do that. Now, guys, I left the roots out because I want the strength to stay in her hair. She lives in California, so she was in Georgia as a model visiting family, but I want to make sure that she has this light California kind of blonde effect, but I don't want her to have to worry so much about finding somebody to take care of the color. She left even as a model with color shampoo to protect her hair. So I'm leaving that strength at the base, not going all the way to the root. Almost like grown out color, using kind of your balayage or ombre type of techniques, but going as close as you can, keeping that strength at the base. And it's really flattering because her brows are exactly the same color. If you notice, it's really like this shadow root that people would use with transparent toner or demi permanent color. I'm using it with permanent color to create the base. Now I'm doing the exact same thing with your favorite lightener. I actually used a blue base lightener, again, trying to take any of that copper away. You could use a white lightener. I'm not a fan of just white, or you can certainly use a violet lightener as well. I like this blue, and I'm using Clairol Collider colors, right? It's an old school, seemingly color lifter, but if you ever use it, guys, it's very, very low ammonia, but it lifts very, very evenly, right on contact. There was no heat used at all with this model, right? I was inside of a studio that had access to a sink, but it didn't even have a hooded dryer. So everything was processed open air, and I love that. It's very, very gentle. You can see that it's lifting right in front of your eyes. On contact, I went in with a lightener that was 1-to-1. I used 30 volume, and somebody's asking, wait a minute, Ray, you did not go in and blow dry her first? No. Once you process with single process and just neutralize it with water, you can go right behind that, guys, with your lightener. She's natural. There's no previous relaxer, and we're going to come behind. We put Olaplex in each one of the formulas inside of the single process, inside of the lightener. We're going to put Olaplex number 1 even inside of the toner, and then we're going to put the number 2 on everything. We're going to neutralize everything, right? So you can go right in after you've rinsed, before you neutralize with shampoo, before you put the number 2. The hair can receive the lightener even when it's slightly damp, right? I found this out, inside of my career, and I used it all the time. It looks like you're going to harm the hair by double processing, but the hair is strong. It went in with a permanent shade, so it wasn't this aggressive lift. And now this lightener is very gentle. So there's so many things as far as breaking rules we can do, as long as we know what the products are capable of, as long as we're taking our time and taking the precautions. So no, I didn't go back in, blow dry her out and flatten her. Once I rinsed her out, before I put any shampoo or anything else, I mixed up my lightener and went right in, and I'm creating these thicker, really, really bold pieces of lightener. As whatever lightener that you're choosing to use, guys, it's your thing. All I'm going to do is just lift to where the hair was currently. So now that level 8 is going to be taken up to these beautiful tones of 9, these beautiful tones of 10, right? Knowing that I'm not going inside, I'm going to stay right there on that breakup, that line of demarcation, that kind of blurry middle ground that I use to create that shadow root. So it's a beautiful grown out look. It doesn't have a hard line of demarcation as it's grown out. 4 months from now, this color will start to look like ombre. It'll still look pretty. 6 months from now, she can put on a demi-permanent red or copper or plum or grape or green or blue, whatever she wants. And now this becomes like pre-lightened color, but she's going to be a blonde, right? For at least heading into the new year and into the spring, because we really didn't do a haircut. I love this section, guys. I'm not going in with these fine weaves. I'm creating these, really, really alternating bold pieces. I want you to remember that piece. It's going to be thick and full, and you can go in there because I'm not trying to make uniformity as much as I'm trying to just put some character inside of the single process. Guys, I want you to consider if this were curls. Guys, I want you to consider if this was a bob. I want you to consider if she had maybe a shaved side and we were doing this on the top. This technique can be used on any texture. I'm using it on somebody that fairly wears her hair in soft waves or curls or in ponies. And the final look, like you saw, is going to be this really beachy California kind of look at the end, but this is a wonderful technique to use on curls, right? The same idea. You don't have to put in really, spaghetti slices of foils all the time. Even though I love very, very fine fettuccine level foils, this is very, very chunky. There's no particular order. I'm going up each section and putting in 1 inch, 2 inch sections, half an inch section, 2, 3 inch sections all over, and I'm going to let that process. And then I'm going to take this zero lift from Pravana. Watch it, guys. This Chroma Silk Express Tones, it moves fast. 5 minutes, guys. This thing is going to move fast. Do not walk away. I went 1 part violet, 1 part natural, transparent toner with the zero lift by Pravana. Again, guys, they move very, very fast. You use them at the bowl. I mixed it up as if I was putting a conditioner on her hair to knock out the final, super duper heavy warmth and red tone so I could see more golden. I could see more graham cracker tones in her base. Look at that final look, guys. So these now ribbons that we create with these curls, again, I'm thinking of how I'm going to place the color. I want you to think about curling the color, coloring the cut, cutting the curls. I want you to think about this relationship, how all things are going to operate together. I know that she likes curls. I know that she likes wave. So that's why I really didn't put a uniformity so it would look like a tiger stripe. So this very structured and perfect hair color job. What you're finding is a lot more hair color today, a lot more free hand, a lot more free living, a lot more organic. So now when we go in with more uniform curls, like you would do a roller set, you can see that there's not a place where you can determine where did it start, where did it begin, but you can see that uniformity or that common ground of that shadow root about 1 inch away, right? That grown out look, and then you have this marriage of this graham cracker base, maybe this caramel base, and these golden, right, areas that are a little bit lighter, some that are right at about a 10, others may have where she had a little pre-lightened pieces, just her natural hair was a little bit lighter around her hairline. It looks a little bit more maybe like ginger. Or like banana, right? That kind of thing. See those bold pieces? If you remember, I placed that in the back of her hair. So now you can see these beautiful ribbons. And what I love about her hair, and she kept commenting on it. She's like, Ray, my hair doesn't feel unhealthy. I wanted this look, but I didn't want it to be falling out and breaking off. And that's so important, guys, on what we actually use. This is really high lift color. You saw that her hair was a natural kind of level 3, right? In some areas it looked like it was maybe like a level 4, maybe 2, but you can see that we have these beautiful ribbons that are full of shine, full of bounce. She has no product really outside of a dime size of serum all over there. Look at this final look, guys. That's where we started at the bottom left. She is also a lash artist and she's a makeup artist, so did not have to hire a makeup artist for this one. She did her own look. Absolutely gorgeous look, guys, and see how that shadow root is just flattering. Beyonce has shown us the way for years and years, how that look is something that now people are not having 2 months after they create their color, but they're asking for that look at the very beginning. And it helps to kind of make everything believable because there's this darkness around her hairline. There's this darkness at the very top of her hair as the curls are beginning to fall, marrying with that very bold. And she has a very bold brow, right? She has a very dark brow. So it makes this blonde very believable on this girl that has these darker features, right? And it doesn't have to be on a fair skinned model. It doesn't have to be on a black model. It doesn't have to be on a white model. This is a technique that you can use on anyone, but there's so many people in the world that have dark brows. So sometimes all different races have dark brows, right? There's only one person, 10% of the country or the world is really a natural blonde. So the idea of putting in fair pieces or lighter pieces in the hair, a lot of time, this is a consideration to make it believable, right? And that shadow, darker root, just keeping her natural color in there makes it all make sense. Final look there, guys. Remembering our formula, we went in with a level 8 ash. I would encourage, if you have a client that has a lot of warmth, you have somebody that's really, really, you know, copper and red in her skin tones, and you see that she pulls that in her hair, go in with maybe a double ash. There's some wonderful brands out there. I think Joico has a double ash. Try to find a line that has more of a neutral base or a cool base, because some of the lines that we're using that are permanent, that constantly put so many warm tones in the hair, the base of the entire line, all 80 shades, is warm. That's another reason why I like Ion, because their base is more neutral. It's more flat, right? And then they have a warm series, and then they have cool series. So that gives me the options that I want when I want to create either one of the two tones. Bonus tribe tip, guys. I really want you to think about making photography a part of what you do in the salon. I think it's almost a necessary thing that we as hairstylists, makeup artists, barbers really begin to learn how to put photography in our game. I took the model outside after the video shoot of the tutorial and created some stills with my own camera. Guys, purchase a camera. Make it a part of what you ask Santa for this holiday season, because to get photography now, think about it, our #1 platforms are Instagram, Facebook. We're creating marketing materials, flyers. We're on these platforms where visuals on our website, Snapchat, things of that nature. We need images, and no one knows your work like you do. And I tell you, maybe everybody is not a photographer, but so many of you guys, you will be really surprised how just picking up a camera, a single lens pro camera for yourself, will really make the difference and take you from good to great and great to phenomenal with your marketing. Guys, I hope you enjoyed all of what you saw today on this tutorial.